I've got a couple of tricks up my sleeve. And apparently so does Jack and Joker. Jack and Joker, You Steal My Heart premiered this week with, of course, the incomparable YinWar. Hand clap. If you have not watched, you should, because this is going to be full of spoilers. And if you don't like those, yeah, right. I really enjoyed the first episode, so I wanted to get all of my thoughts about the first episode and how the plot was driven and, you know, how they set up everything that's going to happen in the rest of the series in this video. I'm excited. I'm excited because it's really it kind of has me in a chokehold. But before we get into my thoughts about Jack and Joker, let's get into a couple of references that the show is making very intentionally with the fact that they name their characters Jack and Joker. Of course, we have the two characters, Jack, who is a person who loves to do karate, taekwondo, whatever you want to call it. And then we have Joker, who is also a student who steals pretty regularly for as long as we can remember. But he does it in kind of a vigilante type of vibe? Question mark. So I thought it was interesting that their names were Jack and Joker, because if we think about Jacks and we think about Jokers, we think of playing cards, right? Right. In cards, the Joker represents chaos and unpredictability, potential, flexibility, all of those things, all the characteristics of a trickster. If we relate it back to cards, whenever someone throws out a Joker during a card game, no matter what you're playing, whether it's rummy, Mother May I, poker, spades, the Joker always represents some sort of game changer, some sort of turn in the current movement of things. So looking at the character Joker in Jack and Joker, You Steal My Heart, that makes sense, right? He's very much a person who likes to fit that trickster archetype, someone who tends to do things that to the public eye would be socially unacceptable, as we saw with the little newscast of him stealing from a restaurant. But there's some air of Peter Pan to it. It's kind of like taking from the rich and giving to the poor, but in unorthodox ways. It seemed throughout the episode that Joker was looking for someone to understand him, to understand why he's doing the things he's doing. But the interesting thing about it is we don't necessarily know why he started this, which is why I thought the references in Jack and Joker were so interesting, because if you think about the Joker as in DC Comics, there's no origin story for the Joker. Of course, there are a lot of speculation. There are a lot of theories thrown out there about what the Joker is, where he comes from. There's a general consensus of how he became the Joker, but none of them are canon. The Joker doesn't have a definitive timeline. His identity changes with every Earth timeline that passes in the DC Comics, which is so interesting. So the fact that they started Joke, the character in Jack and Joker, You Steal My Heart, with just being a regular student, we didn't see really anything that may have caused him to become the Joker. Yeah, he has this issue with his dad, but that is not why he started to steal in the first place, or at least that's what the series is pointing at. I thought the references were really cool. As far as Jack in a card deck is kind of the jack of all trades. He's kind of the subordinate. If we look at Jack in the series, he's very much a person who can do anything. He is a martial artist. He takes care of his grandmother. He's just a very positive person. And I think it's interesting how they're going to change his character after what ends up happening to him. Joker seems to not have any kind of remorse for his actions. He seems to not care whether or not his actions affect others, just as long as what he did was good in his heart. But when it comes to Jack, when he decided to steal the money from the bank and give some to Jack in order to, pay off his debts and to open his community center, he didn't really think, oh, this is going to affect him horribly. I'm approving a loan for him. I don't need to enter it in the computer or, make sure it's an actually valid loan. I just give him the money. And then I think he sees, once Jack is being arrested, how his actions can affect others. It almost seems like the two archetypes are starting to either meld together or switch, with Jack turning over to a life of go after people who don't pay their loans. And so he has to harden his heart a lot, and he has to become this figure that he probably doesn't want to be. Whereas Joker, it seems like maybe he's going to do what it takes to make it up to Jack, but that's going to take learning how to navigate what he does best, which is stealing and theft, and do it in a better way. It kind of confuses me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. And this is all based off the first episode. Obviously, this is first impressions, but I think their archetypes are kind of melding together, or they're going to switch slightly. I'm excited to see how their character progression happens. And obviously, we're here for the YinWar love and to see how they end up in this little love-hate relationship that they're gonna pan out. Let me know in the comments how you feel about Jack and Joker, You Steal My Heart episode 1. Did you enjoy it? Wasn't it your cup of tea? Are you waiting to form a opinion based off of future episodes? What are your theories? Type them all down in the comments. But in the meantime, make sure you go over here to this video and check out my first impressions about 4 Minutes, the series. 4 Minutes is over, and obviously I'm gonna do a deep dive into it. But in the meantime, click on this video over here, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.